If he loses, man, what? You're fucked.
I'm fucked. If he loses, I'm fucked. You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes. And Gates.
And Gates.
Yeah.
And I only ask that because you can certainly just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there. I don't know. I mean, I assume you know that. Yeah.
Yes. Reid Hoffman was my vice president of business development at PayPal.
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Does he seem nervous to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's terrified of a Trump victory.
I'm so glad Elon Musk is on our side. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com, TatumStore.com. When I go to the gym, everybody's asking me, where you get these shirts at? Hey, we make these shirts. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? We probably had the best shirts in the game, to be honest. And to be, if that was all I did was e-commerce, and I didn't do YouTube, and I wasn't a business owner and doing all this other stuff, we probably have even crazier stuff. But right now, this is what we got. We put in all our effort and energy of what we can muster to give you the best product that you're going to find out there for the best price, best shipping, best return policy. And I do this from the bottom of my heart. Man, people probably tell me all the time, or people do tell me all the time, but I don't listen. They tell me that I probably shouldn't have a return policy like I do. But I care about the people more than I care about making money. And when you do that, you make more money. If something is wrong with the product, we obviously take care of that. If you get the product and it don't fit for whatever reason, as long as you don't take it out and wear it with we had somebody wear it with their cat rolling all over them, and we ain't taking that back. But if it's good and you don't fit, send it back to us, man. We'll take care of you. That's the difference between Tatum Store and other stores. Anyway, like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk. I mean, I'm starting to like him more and more. And I respected him before he ever came out and said he was a Republican. I respected him because he put his money where his mouth was at. A lot of Republicans fail to do that. I'm going to keep it 100. We want to come out and make our own platform and make our own money, but we didn't unite enough to do something that Elon Musk did. I think that Twitter would have sold to one of these billionaires on the Republican side, and we could have taken over free speech. But instead, we all want to have our own little thing. It's 6, 7 up platforms, just spreading them thin. He got with other people who were investors and ended up taking over Twitter, the biggest free speech platform that exists. And I respected that from him because that's a lot of money and that's a lot of risks. But anyway, I'm glad he's on our side because that tells you something. When one of the most successful men ever to live, he will go down in history as one of the most successful men that ever lived, one of the most brilliant men to ever live, is on the right side. That tells you where you're at in the social economic realm. And I think Zuckerberg is on the right. I'm telling you, I saw him at the UFC fight. I took a picture with him because out of respect for what he's been able to accomplish. Facebook has been a terrorist to me for a while. Meta has been a lot better when they took over Instagram. But I do think deep down inside, when you're an 18-year-old kid coming from college and you're making all this money and you in Silicon Valley, you're getting all of these pushes and negative reinforcement to be a leftist. And I think he was a product of his environment, but I think he's changing. Hanging around at Dana, all these fighters, all of them are uber conservative Trump supporters. And like I said, I was at the fight, I had a Trump shirt on, and I took a picture with him. He didn't have a problem with it. Now, will he come out and say he's a Trump supporter? He probably won't. Because, they still want to be invited to all the fun galas and stuff. But deep down inside, I think Zuckerberg is actually a conservative for the same reasons that Elon Musk is a conservative. I think that kid woke up, man. But anyway, it shall remain to be seen. Roll the clip.
If he loses, man, what?
Don't that feel good to be so rich that y'all can laugh about it? He rich as a mud too, man. If you don't think he ain't loaded, you crazy.
If he loses, man, what?
You're dude. I'm
If he loses, I'm
It does seem that way. You can't just be like, yo,
I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think, will I see my children? I don't know. I mean, my view is that.
Let me say this, man. I don't mean to be homeboy coattail or nothing. But the difference between Elon Musk and other people, and the reason he's so successful, is because he's willing to take risks. Like being F that Trump don't win, but he put all his coins in the box, right? He put all his investment into this thing and said, I'm going to go after it with all I got. And if it hit the fan and I lose it all, I'm okay with that. And that's risks that people do not want to take. And that's why they cannot make $250 billion or something in net worth. I'm just saying.
If Trump doesn't win this election, it's the last election we're going to have. The Democrats, the Dem machine, has been importing so many people, bringing in so many illegals, flying in with this like CBP border app thing that nobody even knew about, like secret program. That's illegal, basically. It's illegal, but there's no action by the DOJ to actually to stop it from happening. They're transporting large numbers of illegals to swing states. If you look at the numbers, these are the numbers from the government website. So, like from the Democrat-administered government websites. Like, where do you get this data? From the government website that is run by Democrats. There are triple-digit increases in illegals to all the swing states. And in some cases, it's like 700% over the last 3 years.
Let me move out the way so y'all can see that. Okay. Y'all see them old crazy numbers? 700% in Arizona. 700% in Michigan. This is the difference in the election numbers. Candidates aren't even winning by this much. And then they activate all these people as voters. Who you think they're going to vote for? They would argue that the majority will vote for the people that make them citizens. Therefore, there will never be another election. Elon is right. Roll the clip.
Now, these swing state margins are, sometimes 10, 20,000 votes. So what happens if you put, hundreds of thousands of people into each swing state? And when somebody is granted asylum, they are fast tracked. They can get a green card, and then 5 years after the green card, they can get citizenship and they can fully legally vote. And when they do so, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat. And sometimes I get this rebuttal of like, well, a lot of them, their social values don't align with sort of the far left sort of woke ideology. Yeah. I said, that's true, but that's not their top priority. Their top priority is getting their friends and family also to the United States. And the Dems also issue all these programs, these sort of handouts, essentially, that make them beholden to the Democratic Party. So they vote Dem.
That's what they did to black people. Exactly what they did to black people.
That's what happens. So my prediction is if there's another 4 years of a Dem administration, they will legalize so many illegals that are there that the next election, there won't be any swing states. And we'll be a single party country, just like California is a single party state. It's a supermajority Dem state in California.
Because of immigration.
Yes. California was fairly reliably Republican.
Bill Clinton lost California in '92 and won West Virginia.
Yes. So there was a 1986 amnesty.
Yes.
Thereafter, California trended very strongly Dem, and is at this point, I think, 65-70% Dem, something like that. It's supermajority Dem. The California legislature is more than 2/3 Democrat.
Has it improved the state?
No, it's not. And California just passed, which is shocking. It's hard to believe this is even real, but California just passed a law making it illegal to require voter ID in any election at all in California. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Newsom signed it into law last week.
It's illegal to require an ID.
In any election, even a town council. And a friend of mine who lives in Palo Alto was like, is this actually real? And he went to like vote in like some city council election. He tried to show them his ID, and they said, "We're not even allowed to look at your ID."
Have they extended this same?
Actually, what's going on right now?
But
By the way, they're proud of it. They're not hiding it.
But it's
also
only
law.
voting. It's not buying a gun or buying liquor or buying a pack of cigarettes or flying on an airplane or renting a hotel room. It's only voting that it's illegal.
Oh, if you try to buy a gun, I mean, they're going to ID you 6 ways to Sunday. Yeah, California's trying to make it basically illegal to own a gun. And the same people that demanded vaccine IDs for if you want to travel or do anything are the same ones who say no voter ID is required.
Is there any reason
Obviously hypocritical.
to pass a law like that except to abet voter fraud?
It's so that fraud cannot be proven. So it enables large scale fraud and no way to prove it, because how would you prove it? It's literally impossible. No ID. You're not even allowed to show your ID. It's insane.
Well, it is insane.
Insane. So, yeah. The purpose of no voter ID is obviously to conduct fraud in elections. Obviously.
There can be no other explanation.
I mean, they come up with some nice sounding thing.
People don't have IDs. Could you live in this country without an ID?
Yeah, I mean, their common rebuttal is like it's racist to require ID, and which is insane. I think it's actually racist and patronizing to say that people can't figure out how to get ID. Obviously.
But how could you live here without an ID? I don't think it's even possible.
Can't.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
Yeah.
You need ID for everything. Like the list of the things you need ID for is basically everything, except voting.
I want to pause there for a minute. I don't know how people don't see this stuff. Is it because people are so distracted with sports and they're so distracted with whatever else is going on in their lives that they're so distracted with their emotionalism that they overlook factual details of what they're getting themselves into? There is no legitimate explanation for a person not to have to show an identification to vote. Because if you want to claim that requiring a voter ID is racist, then you have to make the claim that opening a bank account with an ID is racist, buying liquor with an ID is racist, buying guns with an identification is racist. You have to say everything that requires an identification is racist. You even have to have an ID to get food stamps, government assistance. You have to have some form of identification. That's racist, even though disproportionately the people who are on these programs are minorities who have to show ID. But people will get in your face and say, that's racist. See, the Republicans, they want you to have ID because black people want, what? Do you know a black person without an ID? I don't know one. And if a person wanted one, they could get one. They can, I don't know, it probably take them 15 minutes. They got a cell phone, it take them 5 minutes. All they got to do is go on to a search engine and say, how do I get an ID in the state of California? How do I get an ID in the state of Arizona? And if they have any level of ability to read anything, and nowadays the phone will read it to you. The phone will read it to you. They give you a number. Call this number. You call the number. Hey, what do I do from here? Okay, sir, come down here and do this and do that and do that and swipe that over that and do that around there. You got an ID. We'll send it to you in the mail. We'll give you a digital ID before you get the physical identification. How do you know that's happened, Brandon? Because when I had to change my address on my ID, they fixed the address, they sent me a digital ID where I can present that to somebody until they give me the physical identification with my new address on it. Come on, bro.
So you see the rest of the country.
It's total bullshit, obviously.
Obviously.
Yes.
But that doesn't in any way minimize the aggression or self-righteousness they bring to this conversation.
Yes.
You're a racist if you want that.
Right. Whereas, in fact, obviously, someone is racist if they say that people of a particular race cannot get ID. That's patronizing and racist. That's absurd.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, it's like when the governor of New York said people in the, ghetto don't know how to use computers or something like that. I mean, like, super out of touch.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So
it's like, hello.
So there's a really clear template.
Maybe she doesn't know how to use computers, but they do. Obviously.
I don't think Hochul could use a computer.
Yeah, I don't think
She's not qualified intellectually.
Yeah, no, probably not.
But not everyone in New York is as dumb as Kathy Hochul. I think that's true.
Yeah.
So you see the other 49 states becoming California if the machine wins.
Well, you don't need all 49 to go that way. You just need enough to have the election, have there not be swing states. I mean, there are only 6 swing states.
Yep.
So there are only 6 states out of 50 right now that are in contention. So if those 6 states that are in contention by narrow margins are no longer in contention, then the only contest will be for who wins the Democratic primary. That's how it is in California. That's how it is in New York. There's no party versus party situation. The only contest is who wins the Democratic primary. And as we've seen with the appointment of Kamala, who no one voted for, even in the Democratic primary.
Yes.
Where's the democracy here?
Well, it's easier though.
I mean, it's just that the Dem Party elite just decides
Yes.
who is in charge. That's a tiny oligarchy, basically.
I wonder would there be a referendum on that? What do y'all think in the comment section? Do you guys think that people see that? And like for instance, there's always something that caused the house of cards to fall, right? There's always something for people. I think the house of cards never fall to real people. I mean, not these little beta weenies that run around, y'all know who I'm talking about. That say, I'm now a Democrat. I was a Republican. These weenies, they always want to be a beta, but they never could build the courage to finally be a beta. But some LGBTQ person rubbed their booty the right way, and now they want to change over. So, but for real normal people, everybody goes from, or many people go from, especially if you weren't raised right politically, many people go from being Democrats or liberals to being conservative. And it's always something that the left does that make you wake up and say, wait a minute, I don't believe that. What else is crazy about this party? Oh, it's the whole thing crazy. Then you can't unsee it. So you're just watching TV. You don't want to switch parties yet. You just, yeah. What did he just say? Did he really he just lied in front of everybody. This is the party that I've been, what am I doing? What has happened? And I wonder, when people were going to vote, genuine people that said, I want to vote for Joe Biden. I voted for Joe Biden in the 2020 election, and he won. And then they say, okay, I like Joe Biden, and I want to vote for him again. But there was a competition. Kamala was in that competition. She didn't make it to the finals of that competition. And people narrowed down their choice to pick Joe Biden as the nominee. And now that he just randomly, I don't think he did it. I think they told him he did it. I think he went away and they said, hey, just so you know, you dropped out. Just so you know, somebody get him a binky. He dropped out. And I think he's been bitter ever since. But at some point, the people should have had a chance to decide. Because it's good for us as Republicans because she sucks. But if I was a Democrat, I'd be like, no, hold on. She ain't going to do this. She's not the best qualified Democrat. She's terrible. Her record with Joe Biden is a failing record. Can we get a new person in here that we think that can actually win and manage the country well, that we can get away from this old guard? I honestly believe they probably would be putting Donald Trump away forever if they had a legitimate Democrat candidate that wasn't associated with the bad policy positions of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. They're trying to use this same person that's in the same administration to somehow act like she's a new way forward. Lady, your record is already there. You know, that's like somebody being a head coach of a football team and an assistant coach, right? You got the head coach and assistant coach, and they run a program through the ground. And then the assistant coach is now saying, you know what? I want to be the head coach of this team because I believe I can turn this team around. They like, wait a minute, bro. You were the assistant coach on this team that y'all just ran the program through the ground. Now we supposed to forget that you and this fool ran the program through the ground. And now you want to be the head coach. We want to get rid of the whole coaching staff. We need to get a new person in and get rid of all of y'all. All that bad blood, all that bad reputation, get rid of all of them. Bring in a new staff that can make claims because you can't disprove their claims because they haven't had a chance yet. Y'all had a chance, and this is what you did with the chance. Anyway, let me finish this.
Comprised of
That's not democracy.
the richest people in the country. That's kind of the interesting part to me, is that the richest people in the country are on board with this. I mean, that's what it is. It's a collection of billionaires.
Well,
right?
most of them are, yeah.
But you're not.
Not me, and not everyone is. I think there's, but it is a shocking number of so-called billionaires are in the Dem camp, more than are in the Republican camp.
Oh, for sure.
Which is wild. So in fact, the astonishing thing in the swing states is that they're even a contest, given that the Dems have far more money than the Republicans. So the Kamala camp dramatically outspends the Trump campaign in the swing states. The media is overwhelmingly pro-Democrat. So you've got, the press, is a Dem cheering squad. So, and then you've got almost all the Hollywood and entertainment, the celebrities, also, endorsing Kamala and being pro-Dem. So you got the celebrities, they got the money, they got basically everything on the side of the Dems. The problem is the underdog here. Trump's the underdog in swing states, and still it's a contentious. It's still a 50-50. After all that,
What does that tell you?
it tells me that if people actually knew what was going on, they weren't being fed nonstop propaganda, it would be a landslide in favor of Republicans.
Yeah.
That he said it all. He capped that off. Y'all go watch the rest of this on Tucker Carlson's podcast show or whatever he does on X. But yeah, I mean, if the Dems weren't lying to people and tricking, think about this. Anytime you ask a person why you vote for Kamala Harris, they have no response. And then you ask people why you hate Trump. It's propaganda. They say Charlottesville. They say all kind of stuff that's not true. He a racist. He did this. He did this. He's going to give billionaires tax cuts. It's like, I wish people were smarter than they are. That's why they didn't believe Jesus. The people are just stupid. They just didn't believe Jesus because they probably the same crazy stuff that rumors they saying about Jesus. When Jesus doing this stuff right in front of you, he got miracles and stuff he done. You've seen it with your own eyes, but you reject it because you rather listen to the devil tell you what's going on than for you to listen to your own God-given instincts. And the people are the same way. Donald Trump is a racist. What? Can you do some research? Just look into what if he's not a racist? Would you vote for him then? Oh, now you're in trouble. Because if you say, yeah, I can prove that he ain't a racist, and then you got to vote for him. Then they'll go down the rigmarole of some other stuff. Oh, but he don't like women. He don't like women. Women were very successful under Donald Trump's administration. I can go down the list, man. It just Trump has to win. Because if somehow Trump doesn't win, we're screwed. It's over. It could be over. It could lead to a civil war, which I think is appropriate at that point. because we're going to have to fight to get our country back. We got to physically fight to get our country back like they did in the Civil War. You got to fight to get this because they're going to ruin everything. They're so far removed from reality, truth. They're all liars and deceptive people. The Republican Party is the party that's trying to reconcile and get the people to have a voice for once and freedoms. And they're not perfect, but they're on the right path. We can work with what Republicans are doing. Democrats they just want power. They do it in front of y'all. They're hypocrites in front of the world, and people just act like it ain't happening. If the Republican Party would have pulled a stunt where Trump dropped out and they just put somebody else in there, they would be talking about a threat to democracy at no end. But they do it. It's crazy to me. They lie, they cheat, they steal, just like the devil. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out.